Hello, this is Andy Black, and you are watching AMBY.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I would like to welcome you to our interview with Andy Black. Hello.
Hello. I'm still not used to being referred to as that name.
No?
Yeah. I know it is one of my names, but I don't like people say it to me in public, and it's very weird.
It takes a second for it to kick in.
I've had so many names over the years. And my real name, I almost just always go by Andy because it's easiest. Because the last name is interchangeable at this point, so just Andy is fine.
It's more so like, hey everyone, I'm here with Andy.
Yeah.
You can put the rest together.
It's a little bit of a power move because it makes it seem like I am the Andy.
That's true.
Hi, this is Andy. You know the one.
Well, it's an exciting day because some big news was just announced, and that is that you are going to host the Alternative Press Music Awards.
Yes, it is.
How are you feeling about that? It's awesome.
It's exciting. I guess for me, it's something that I've always wanted to do is the idea of like hosting an award show and being able to, do a funny monologue and all that kind of stuff has been. I said the other day to someone that was interviewing me that in my mind, I feel like I've done this a million times because as a kid, I would just draw up scenarios that I was entertaining people in some way. And so I think I had like home award shows where my toys were the contestants and, that kind of thing. I didn't have very many friends growing up, I should point out. I was very lonely, and so I had to make up things. But no, I'm so excited, and it's going to be great. The people at AP have been such huge supporters in my career for so many years, whether it's with Black Veil Brides or the solo project, whatever it is. It's really, really cool, and it's in my home state of Ohio where I grew up.
You're clearly used to performing, but are there any nerves? Because this is a different realm. It's slightly different than what you do.
I think in some capacity it's not necessarily nerves so much as it's because I'm doing something that is slightly different. I want to make sure that I get it right. So it's going on tour. It's not to say that I'm not prepared, but I've been touring for a decade and I know what I'm doing on stage. And there's not months and months out. I'm not getting ready for a tour as much anymore as now. I'm prepared. But with this, I really want to get it right. So I've been every single day working on jokes and what I want to say and that kind of thing.
Well, super exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And of course, must discuss the Shadowside, latest record release.
Yes.
Now, it's been out for quite some time. How are you feeling about everything?
It's been out for 30 years. People are still talking about it. It's great, man. I'm so excited that I got to do it. It was kind of one of those things for like a couple years. My producer friend, John Feldman, and I were going back and forth about wouldn't it be fun if we did a extra project, not necessarily to replace Black Veil Brides or anything, but just something to have additionally in the world of music. And we talked about what that would be, and so we started writing songs, and most of the songs that we wrote were kind of silly, not necessarily joke songs, but more like, oh, we love psychedelic furs, let's write a song like that. And what we found is while we were writing these songs just for the hell of it, we started to really like the idea of doing this material and this kind of music. And so it took about a year after that initial like getting together period to pitch the idea to my label. They said they wanted to do it, and so we were kind of off from there. And it was really great. I mean, I got to work with so many cool people, and the tour has been fantastic. It's just very different from Black Veil Brides.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Feldiverse. You mentioned the studio there. This is what you called it in the past, because you had the Madden Brothers in there, Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy. The environment must have been pretty exciting at the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not anything, there isn't anything that you feel as if couldn't happen with John, and I think that's one of the most fun things that I've had. It's not to say that other producers poo-poo stuff, but you feel like he's always excited to do anything, and I think creatively that's so rewarding to be able to come in and say, today I'd like to have a gospel choir sing on this song, how do we make that happen? And then, a few hours later you've made the calls and you found the people and they're there. Same thing goes for, hey, we should work with Gerard from Like Him on this song, or we should have Mikey come in and play bass, or whatever it is. For me, my favorite band of all time is Alkaline Trio. And I just happened to hit up John and say, hey, I think Matt Skiba would be great on this song. And within the day, I was actually out of town. I was getting, FaceTime video of Matt in the studio singing the song.
Wow.
So it's, he's just one of those guys, he makes stuff happen. And I think that that's one of the coolest attributes that someone can have creatively.
That's wicked. Well, as part of the record, We Don't Have to Dance, my favorite track on it, because I just relate to it so much.
Because you don't want to dance.
I actually love dancing, but when it comes to...
But you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Yeah, and that's important to state. You don't have to.
It's very important.
Yeah.
I love how you tackle such a serious topic like social anxiety, but you put this really cheeky and clever spin on it. With all of the meet and greets you do, performing every night, do you still feel that anxiety all the time?
Yeah, I think that that's one of the things that I've tried to be clear about with the audience is that I was a kid who had social anxiety and felt kind of weird around other people and didn't quite know how to fit in. And then I became successful writing songs about that topic. You don't suddenly develop the ability to fit in that context. Just because you're successful or pseudo-famous or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you suddenly have those skills. So I really have grown as a person, obviously through people in my life and my wife and so many other people, but being able to be around like-minded people for the last 10 years every single day, you start to kind of feel a little bit more confident in what you're doing. And so I'm not a doctor. I'm not able to fix anything for anybody. But I feel like what's been really important to me is that my personal belief is that when you have something wrong that you're feeling internally, you're the first person who can fix it. And I try to be really open and honest that the music that I make, I'm not trying to pander. I'm talking openly about the things I'm dealing with. But if it can help you in some way, then it can be an aid in the first step towards fixing whatever it is that's bothering you. I just think that too often in today's culture, something that's wrong, everybody thinks, well, there must be someone else that can fix this for me. And that sounds easy, but the reality is with stuff that's kind of you're dealing with internally, the battle and the fight to get through it and to be happier is it's one that's long, but it's rewarding. I
feel like that's why so many people are relating to it, though. It comes off extremely genuine.
I hope so. I mean, I think that it used to really frustrate me when we first started because there was a huge trend for a while in that merchandise and there was this sort of idea to sell loneliness to lonely people. You could see that the idea of being an outsider or an unconventional person or whatever it is sold merchandise and records and tickets and whatever else, and so people started to jump on that, and the idea of being lonely was a bumper sticker or a t-shirt or whatever else, and I always felt like that kind of was counterintuitive to the idea of community.
It's not the right message.
Yeah, because you're trying to empower people in a positive way.
Well, now you have the Andy show, which I love watching.
Which is not to empower people, but maybe it does. But it's more.
It just seems like you're just put in a room with people that you enjoy being around, and you just goof off. Which I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's basically
the premise of it. But if you could have any guest on the show, because you've had some pretty cool people, who would you love to sit down with, be able to kind of interview in a sense?
It's interesting because the guests that we've had, they all have some sort of unique story to tell, and so I think that's probably the number one thing when we ask someone to come on is. Are they coming on because they are a big draw for the show, or are they coming on because there's somebody who is going to give us an interesting interview or story? So it's hard to say who would be the ultimate guest, but I think that the ultimate concept is always that you're trying to give something that is humorous and exciting and also maybe gives you some more information into the thing that you're interested in. I think most people that watch the Andy Show are interested in music and art and that kind of culture, and so having a guest on that can talk about it or give people information about it is, super helpful.
You play a lot of games on the Andy Show.
Yes.
It's probably my favorite segment within the whole thing are the games that you have. So
yes.
I decided to make a little game of my own for this interview, and it's called Ribcage or We Don't Have to Dance.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a word, and if you happen to like the word, you say ribcage as if it's a part of you. If you don't like it, you say we don't have to dance, like you want nothing to do with it.
Okay.
All right.
Just so you know, anytime anyone's ever tried to play a game with me and explain the rules, I have forgotten them while they were talking to me. So just as an example of how poor of a listener I am, when I'm autographing things at the meet and greets, if someone tells me how to spell their name, I will forget it while I'm writing it.
2
so for
seconds
instance,
later, like, wait,
they
who
go
are you?
Kristen, Kristen, and I'll go Kripwox. Why? What was it? And then I go back. So I've already forgot what the rules are, but I will. Can we go over them one more time, just like a speed?
Of course. So if you like it, the word and the context, you say ribcage.
Ribcage.
If I
don't like it, we don't have to dance. Got it.
I think you got it.
All right. This is some sort of Canadian sorcery.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Right. First one is fireworks.
Ribcage.
Cookies.
Ribcage.
Roller coasters.
Ribcage.
Wrestling.
Ribcage.
Emojis.
Ribcage.
Tofu.
Ribcage.
Wow, black lipstick.
Ribcage.
Magic.
Ribcage.
Oh, geez, all right.
I like a lot of stuff.
Wow, cooking.
Ribcage.
And for the last one, golfing.
All right. I got to qualify this.
Go for it.
Because I like the driving range.
Okay.
I'm not a big guy going out on the links.
So we'll make this one the course, just so we mix it up a little bit.
This one will have to be We Don't Have to Dance.
Wow, so it took us about 8 or 9,
with
but
an asterisk that if it's a driving range, It's not the concept of golfing, it's the act of going out and walking around a golf course that I don't like so much.
I was not expecting so many rib cages.
Well, I'm a very positive guy. I don't think a lot of people know that about me. I like a lot of stuff.
What's something that would completely get on your nerves, like a pet peeve, if it was listed in there, where you would have right away been, we don't have to dance?
When you're on tour with someone that you haven't been on tour with before, and then they tell you stuff about a place that you've already been and know, it's a very specific thing to be annoyed about. But for instance, like our guitar player the other day, we were in Montreal, and I've been in Montreal 9 million times over the years, and he took me and my bodyguard aside to tell us that, in case we didn't know this, that Montreal is famous for its smoked meats. Most people probably know that. I've been there before and ask what's for lunch today. It's usually some form of smoked meat. So, and then also that you could only get poutine in Montreal, that you can't get it here in Toronto.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
It's not factual.
If you come to Toronto, you can get some really good poutine.
You can. I don't. It's not for me. I don't eat that stuff, but I used to, But I also used to be very drunk, so I don't know what it tastes like. Yeah.
Well, you're now on the homecoming tour curtain call.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, things have been going pretty well. But the coolest part is you're doing meet and greets, and you're meeting a lot of people. And I noticed that they've been giving you some really neat stuff. So what are some of the coolest things that fans have given you?
Obviously, people bring me a lot of Batman stuff because I have a
Noticed the tattoo as well.
The tattoo, by the way, there only one person in my day-to-day life in the history of me having this tattoo has ever known what it is, and it made me so excited. We were at the grocery store, and we were checking out, and the guy's like, "Hey, I like your vampire Batman on your neck," and I lost my shit because I have literally had people ask me if it is their dog. I had a guy come up and go, "Hey, is that tattoo like my dog?" I was like, "Why would it be your dog?"
Yeah, out of all,
man,
I
I don't
chose yours.
know. He's like, "Well, it's outside. You can go see it." And it was just a sad pit bull. And I think that that's more telling of how he feels about his dog.
Yeah.
Than, yeah. But so thank you for understanding that. Anyway, gifts. I like when people bring me sports themed stuff. I like in different cities people bring me jerseys and stuff representing their team. I don't know. It's hard. People bring me so many different things. Drawings are great. Just anything that people have kind of put their heart into,
Well, to wrap everything up, I do want to end it on the fans. Anything you want to
Sure.
say to all of those who will be viewing?
Thank you for watching this. I hope that it's educational and exciting. I hope you learn a lot. And you don't have to dance if you don't want to.
Thank you so much for your time
Thanks.
today.
Can we cheers microphones?
Absolutely.
Tink.
Lovely.
Bam.
I feel like that goes with the Canadian sorcery a little bit.
Yeah. Tink. AMBY.
Woo! And remember, to everybody viewing, you can visit us at musicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more. See you next time.